In the quiet suburb where the sun lazily drapes its warmth over neat rows of homes, Lani, a boy with a spirit as adventurous as the breeze, found himself entangled in a situation that would change his outlook on life. It was a Tuesday like any other, with the chirping of birds seamlessly blending with the morning hustle. However, for Lani, this particular Tuesday harbored a forgotten storm, the day of his much-dreaded math exam. Lani's mind had been adrift in everything but his studies. Video games, soccer matches in the park, and endless daydreams had been his companions, leaving no room for the numbers and equations that awaited him. As he sat at his desk, the realization hit him like a cold wave. His exam was not next week, as he had mistakenly believed, but in mere hours. Panic took the driver's seat, urging Lani down a path he had never trodden before. The thought of failing was a blemish too dark for his record. Maybe just this once, he whispered to himself, rationalizing the decision to cheat as a necessity rather than a choice. He scribbled tiny notes on his hand, invisible under his sleeve, a secret between him and desperation. The clock's hands danced to the rhythm of ticking time, marking the moment of truth. As Lani maneuvered through the exam with an unnatural ease, the sharp eyes of Mrs. Ellis, his teacher, caught the slight motion of his hand. The unraveling was swift. Notes were discovered, and the air thickened with disappointment. Mrs. Ellis, with a heart heavy with both concern and duty, reported the incident to Lani's father. The news fell upon the household like a shadow. Lani's father, a man of principles and faith, looked into his son's eyes, searching for remnants of the boy he raised. That evening, under a sky painted with hues of twilight, he shared the story of Ananias and Sapphira from the Bible, a tale of deceit that led to dire consequences. Now a man named Ananias, together with his wife Sapphira, also sold a piece of property. With his wife's full knowledge, he kept back part of the money for himself, but brought the rest and put it at the apostles' feet. Then Peter said,
Ananias, how is it that Satan has so filled your heart that you have lied to the Holy Spirit and have kept for yourself some of the money you received for the land? Didn't it belong to you before it was sold? And after it was sold, wasn't the money at your disposal? What made you think of doing such a thing? You have not lied just to human beings, but to God.
When Ananias heard this, he fell down and died, and great fear seized all who heard what had happened. Then some young men came forward, wrapped up his body, and carried him out and buried him. About 3 hours later, his wife came in, not knowing what had happened. Peter asked her,
Tell me, is this the price you and Ananias got for the land?
Yes, that is the price.
Peter said to her.
How could you conspire to test the Spirit of the Lord? Listen, the feet of the men who buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out also.
At that moment, she fell down at his feet and died. Then the young men came in, and finding her dead, carried her out and buried her beside her husband. Great fear seized the whole church and all who heard about these events.